Hey everybody, Professor Klein back here in the Human Anatomy Lab to bring you a video on the sinus model. Let's begin. So what you gotta know about this model right here is this is a casting or molding of the sinuses. So if I come over to the skull, what actually is a sinus? Well, sinus for in the skull is this hollow space right here. So space, openings that are cavity-like, and they're gonna play a major role in respiration. When you breathe in through your nose, air can go up into the sinuses and they're gonna help humidify, purify, or filter, as well as warm the air, and that's gonna help with the overall health of the body. Well, we've got one way up here, and they're named after the bones that they're within. So this one's within the frontal bone, and we can see that in yellow over here. Two, because you got one on the right, one on the left. I'll spin it around. Notice how it is very similar. If you look here, this is right here. All right, what's next? Well, then we get to this one. This one's hard to see, but this is the ethmoid or ethmoidal sinus. See it down there in green? I'll spin it around so you can see it. It's a little bit different shaped, but it's ethmoidal right here. Then we get to the blue. The blue would be back in here. This is the sphenoid bone, sphenoid. And you know that because here's a sella turcica, which is where the pituitary gland would sit. So sphenoid bone. If I turn it up like this, see how you can see the lesser wing right here. There it is. And the greater wing down there, sella turcica. This has to be looking at that sphenoid sinus, which again would be blue over here. How about this one? Well, this one's kind of on the sides in pink here, and it is the maxillary sinus. Maxillary. Notice how it's a little bit lower. It's in the cheek, and that's where the maxilla bone would be. So if I got this right here, this is the maxilla bone. So what we're doing is we're going deep into the maxilla bone, and that would be the sinus way in there. You guys see that? That's way in there for the maxilla. Now notice how the other three are kind of on this level, but then maxillary is down here. Well, the maxillary sinus is tougher to drain because it's a little bit lower, and the drain is actually on the top of the sinus. So you gotta turn the head to drain that one. So the maxillary sinus is the most commonly infected sinus. Lastly, these not as emphasized in my class, but still good ones to know. The mastoid sinus. Mastoid sinus referring to the mastoid process, this bony landmark right here. All right, quiz time. Can you guys name this sinus? This would be ethmoid. How about the name of this sinus? That's maxillary. Let's go over to the skull. How about this sinus? Frontal. And lastly, this one. This is sphenoid or sphenoidal sinus right here. Follow me for more anatomy model videos just like this, and thanks for watching.